Hello, and welcome to another episode of the I'll Try That podcast. I'm Matthew Barber, and joining me this week are my dear friends, colleagues, and Zithophiles, Joseph Druitt. Say hello, Joe.
Hello. Hi, fellow Zithos.
and Drabbers as well. Say hi, Drabbers.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us once again. Come on down to London town. Is that coming? I don't think it is it?
Yeah, that's good. Spot on. I think Danny Dyer's entered the chat.
All right, girls.
Apples and pears.
Managed to resist calling you all a bunch of slags. Come with us to our pursuit of happiness this week. We are talking about, and trying Mash Gang craft brewers from the Big Smoke. Before we do that, as per usual, we'll do a hop topic, and for those purposes, I'll pass over to Drabbers. Drabbers, what's the latest?
So I'll take us back. So we'll go back to one of a brewery that we talk about a lot, which is Brewdog, and they kind of always seem to.
Who? Sorry,
Brewdog. You know the one. They're always in the news.
I know the ones. Yeah,
some controversy. And can you remember their golden can competition they had a few months back?
Yeah, were they in trouble for that? Was it in trouble, or was it all right in the end? Or
no,
I don't.
I believe they ended up having to pay out like £10,000 because they lied about the can and everything like that.
£10,000. That's pocket into them, isn't it?
This pittance seems that they just gave out in a competition in their new Las Vegas bar was like an £800,000 bar tab as a.
Blimey.
Yeah, and like the bloke on the first night spent 27,000 of it.
Wow.
Flipping heck.
And apparently he was escorted out the bar by the bouncers, but they said he's more than welcome to come back.
Well, of course, it's got quite a large tab to keep running into.
Hang on, wait, sorry, no, whoa, hang on, I'm misunderstanding. So he won a prize, and Brewdog said, "Yes, your prize is." We will pick. We're taking care of the drinks to the tune of £800,000.
Yeah.
For how long has he got?
I can't remember the ins and outs.
I mean,
I think it was a year or something like that.
Oh right, okay. I was gonna say I thought this was like a weekend trip to Vegas like they do in films. 27 grand in a night is pretty good, but I think you're still not going to take care of that in a weekend.
No,
Sorry, that isn't what you wanted to talk about, was it?
But no, that isn't what I talk about. So we're going to quickly remember the golden can, and we're going to skirt over to a brewery that we spoke to one of the brothers very recently. There's 7 of them.
Is this a trick question?
No.
7 brothers.
7 brothers, yeah, 7 brothers. And they had a recent promotion. Of some, and it was called the Not So Golden Can.
Okay,
nice, like that.
And what they did was basically they hid a limited edition Not So Golden Can. You can take a look at it on their Instagram page, and they hid them around Liverpool. And they'd take a picture of the can, close up to like the corner of a statue or something like that. And then it was the person. Then you'd have to find the can. And there were various prizes to like a year's bar tab or like crates of beer and stuff that you could win from that as the competition. That I thought was quite cool.
That's
Very
pretty
cool.
solid. Yeah. I said the trick with that is actually just if you want to hedge your bets. If you find out that there's a brewery doing that, you just follow anyone around from that brewery to see where they might lay the can down and be like, "Ha, got it straight away."
Or you could end up in jail.
That's true. Yeah. I said that's
It's
true.
a
Like
bit
I was
of
speaking
a
from
50-50, really.
yeah, swings and roundabouts. I said true as if I came from some kind of personal experience. There, I promise I haven't.
Yeah, either a year in jail or a year's bar tab. You can kind of take your pick.
Yeah. You get the can and straight to jail.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, straight to jail. That's that Parks and Recreation, isn't it? I love that quote. It's the Ecuadorian. Anyway.
Nice though, but there's a good bit of engagement, isn't it? When they say not so golden, was it like copper or
No? I'll see if I can get an image up for you, and I'll show you on the thing. Wait there we go.
Oh, you're a bit bright for me. Okay. Oh, so it's like goldish coloured.
Yeah, goldish colour.
Basically saying that it wasn't actually solid gold.
Yeah, so
Yes, being very clear about that.
so there we go. And then they would put pictures like that out. Wait there. Can you see it?
Okay, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm with you. So it looks like it's by some, old bit of architecture or something.
Yeah, so not very good for us, seems that we're nowhere near Liverpool.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
course.
commute if you want to actually win that competition, isn't it? But to be honest, there'll be people who move hell and high water to win a competition like that. Go through hell and high water, sorry, I should say. I'm glad you agree.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Shall
There
we
we go.
mash gang it?
Yeah.
Shall
Yeah.
we turn on to mash gang?
Okay, well, that rounds that off quite nicely. Mash Gang. These guys were new to me, I've got to say. I was not familiar, but they're definitely something new. I've got to say.
I've been wanting to do mash gang for a while actually on the pod. I think there's these guys because they're kind of blowing up right now in the Nolo scene. Pop quiz for anyone who knows what Nolo is.
Oh, I think I know, sir.
Let's go.
I think I know, sir. Oh, Drabber's got in first, sir.
No.
Barber, Cheltenham.
I believe it's the no and low alcohol section of the beer market.
Ding ding ding. Well done. Yeah, spot on.
I might get
yes.
that tattooed to myself. I quite like
Nolo.
Nolo. Yeah, Nolo.
Nolo. Yeah.
They're like on the knuckles of one fist.
Yeah. Quick, slight track, but I know somebody who got tattooed YOLO on themselves.
Nice.
Which I think is possibly
I
one
think
of the worst things.
that is a mantra for life. That is game that's going to be life altering. You're never going to find that regretful.
I find it interesting and telling that you didn't describe that person as a friend.
I just knew
You just went,
someone.
I knew someone who did that.
I worked with somebody for a small period of time,
Yeah,
and
that's the same intro you use for anyone that you would describe that you knew who'd been arrested for something as well, isn't it?
Talking of terrible tattoos, we once knew someone who had an Avicii song lyrics tattooed all the way down their side of their body. It was like the whole way down underneath their armpit, all the way down to their waist.
Yeah.
Guys,
Absolutely bananas.
you can't just out me in an episode. Like that. That's not,
you know what the worst part was? It had spelling mistakes in it.
oh dear. Oh, well, there's people who get no regrets. And stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or get random, foreign Chinese symbols, let's say, and they don't know what it means. It says like, dumpling wontons or something.
Well, it's funny. I've never actually shown you guys. I do have a small butterfly at the base of my back.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Small
classy.
like that.
Yeah.
Very classy. Yeah. That's nice. It's what I would expect from you, that's for sure.
We're getting a little bit off topic
Yeah.
here. We're meant to be talking about Mash Gang, who are big in the Nolo scene.
Big in the no-no scene. And actually talking tattoos-wise, I guess, they're kind of the Mash Gang logo, I think is quite cool, quite edgy, don't you think?
Yeah, and so that's the bit I lost a little bit because I've zeroed in a bit too much on the particular beer that I've got from them. So that has basically skull and crossbones all over it. I'm guessing that's the same for you guys.
Sorry, I really
No, I don't have any skull and crossbones.
I don't have any skull and crossbones on. I've got a skull, but the actual Mash Gang logo is just Mash Gang.
Oh, okay, yeah. In the kind of, I want to call it like electric font.
I was going to say slightly gothic.
Yeah, it's got a bit of gothic.
Yeah.
Well, so you say that. Sorry, that's just me, wantonly disagreeing with you. I've got the real gothic. No, it's not gothic, really. Yeah, I think maybe gothic is better for what you're saying. I've got the old school, the English font because the beer I've got from them is called South Central.
Yeah.
And it's that font that you'd see on a lot of old rap albums, which is like old English style, which is quite cool. And actually, to be honest, you're probably better off saying Gothic for someone will tell me what that actual font is that's on South Central. But yeah, I know what you mean about the Mash Gang bit being Gothic sort of thing. And it's like white on a black background as well. Is that I guess that's the same for you guys too.
Well, ours are silver cans, so yeah, it's black on a silver background, I suppose, because it's the aluminium can. But yeah, no, it's quite fun. I mean, the one that Drabs and I have got is called Cheap Lager, and it's basically their non-alcoholic lager. And I think it's the standard one.
Yeah,
but we've got slightly different designs on the can. Like this has got like some sort of like raging cat on this one, whereas Drabs, I think you've got one with a skull on.
Yeah, mine's got a skull with saying cheap lager.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Whereas mine, where the name is on mine, it isn't like in a big speech bubble like his is. Mine's got the word sucky lager with sucky crossed out and cheap written above it. So they're having a bit of fun.
Yeah, and the cat on yours kind of looks a little bit like, I mean, it's like drawn, obviously, so it's almost like an animated sort of thing, but kind of puts me in mind of, did you ever see, I'm sure there's a thing on like Facebook or whatever, which is like crap taxidermy. Someone who's made like a really bad jaguar or something like that, and it's like his face is all smushed in and it looks weirdly kind of human.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Sorry to go back to tattoos, but they do look like they do.
You've
look
got a tattoo of that cat, haven't you?
I was going to say, but they do look like rubbish tattoo designs that you maybe see on other people's arms that they got when they were 17, 18.
More friends of yours, isn't it?
Yeah, more friends.
Well, as you know, typically back in school days sort of way, you show me yours, so I'll show you mine. This is the pretty edgy South Central, and I mean my reasons for picking this one were twofold. Obviously, I am the most like gangster rap involved person that you two know by
That's
some
really
distance.
Cool. I've never seen this can before. That's great.
And actually, do you know the other reason why I particularly picked this one out is because I went online and ordered from these guys, and there were, I don't know why I seem to have gone past the cheap lager that you guys have got. I mean, it's obviously we have a bit of variety anyway, but loads of their options I was looking at were wheat beers. Yeah, we talked about me and wheat beers before. Whereas the one
it's well documented on this podcast.
This is it. Whereas this is the low alcohol, fruited West Coast IPA, which then is presumably why they've got the rap and hip hop angle, basically. But how does yours taste? The cheap lager. I'm guessing it's 0.5% as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's nice. I think it's a really good non-alcoholic lager. I mean, we've been a bit spoiled for choice on some non-alcoholic lagers. They really are kind of getting cracked the back of. There's a lot of good options out there at the moment, but I do feel this is one of the best I've had, honestly. I think it is a really, really good lager.
Well, I had exactly the same. This was before we even started recording, and I'd taken a few sips, and I was like, this is good, and this is tasty. So I think like we have had some. Yeah. I was going to say we've just had some naff ones. Like I can't remember what was. We had one. What was there? Was a horrific one that just tasted of chemicals, and I can't remember. It'll come to me.
We've had Freestar, that was awful. That wasn't good. That was very early on in the brewing, in our kind of podcasting times. That Freestar was not good. I like Lucky Saint, but it's very polarizing. Lucky Saint as a non-alcoholic beer.
Oh, I was going to say Lucky. I think if we did Lucky Saint, I wasn't on it, but I really like Lucky Saint.
Yeah, it's really grown on me as well. The first time I had it, I wasn't sure, but now I've had it a couple more times. I'm like, I really get on with this because it's got a really distinctive flavour. So this is not like a Lucky Saint, I suppose, this lager. It is like a standard lager, but it's a very good lager for a non-alcoholic, for sure. I was going to say something else. I thought, actually, to give it a perspective of how well these have gone down, I bought a 12-pack. And it was this was about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was very difficult. Every time I kept coming back to the fridge to see how much they were in the fridge, there was always at least one, if not two, was missing. So my pregnant wife was just consuming these over the course of a couple of evenings. So she was just going down and just having one. It was like, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign when she goes and picks up a beer. So she's liking it because she's not really a big beer fan. So I thought that was quite telling. Actually.
Yeah, big time. It's funny. This a fruity West Coast IPA is really good, and actually, I mean, the thing is, I kind of mean it to sort of say that I see it's a drawback, but also at the same time it totally isn't because it's NOLO, as you say. I was picking this up, and I think I was thinking of other craft beers that we've had that are particularly fruity, and drinking it and going, well, it's not really a beer, is it?
Yeah.
But so it's definitely delivering on what it's promising because it is so fruity. But what got me thinking was actually you was just saying, Rich, about ones you don't really like. I had I feel like I need to go and double check myself now, but I'm pretty sure it was the no alcohol San Miguel the other week. I'm afraid I really did not get on with it at all.
Yeah,
I think I got
I felt the same with the San Miguel.
I got like halfway through a 330ml bottle of it. I'm not drinking this. And I think if I'm in a position where I'm going to go, Joe, I'm going to have a no-low, particularly this experience right now with Mash Gang is making me go, well, I'm going to go and get something like this that's set out to be that rather than the no or low version of something that already exists. Although, that said,
totally,
I think there are some good examples out there of that, which I haven't tried yet. But there's a few examples that I suppose... swings and roundabouts, isn't it, really? But this is one firmly for me where I go, if I know I'm going to have no or low, I'll go for something like this because it's very good, basically.
But that seems, I was going to say, it seems to be the issue with a lot of the larger breweries trying to pull out these non-alcoholics, because it's like the Budweiser one as well is, I think, one of the worst things I've ever put to my lips other than Timothy Taylor.
You've definitely put worse things to your lips than Timothy Taylor and Budweiser Zero.
I think just on that, though, I'm really loving that there are dedicated breweries just working on no-low. I mean, we've covered Big Drop before, quite recently. Mash Gang, obviously. You've got the likes of Big Ship Brewing as well, which we haven't done an episode on at all, but they've got quite big all of a sudden. Lucky Saint, obviously coming out of Bavaria. I think that's just amazing that there are these very successful no-low company, like breweries only. They're not like, as you're saying, Barbara, they're not doing like an extension of their alcoholic beer, but in no-low form, which there have been, it's a bit hit and miss. There's some successful ones, but I always feel like it's setting a too high a bar. If people love your normal beer and then you're suddenly doing a no-low version, you've got to really nail it in order for people to go, I'm not missing the fact that it doesn't have alcohol in.
Yeah, these guys are obviously like applying their trade as, look, this is what we do, and we're doing it because we think we do it pretty well. For the other ones, I'm sure some of the breweries would say that they're not doing this, but for the likes of those ones who have got established beers already, the suggestion is that they've done the no-low version of it as an afterthought, really. You'd almost, to a certain extent, you will have fans of those beers who are like, yeah, I love that, but I want to have a no-low version of it. But I'm almost a bit like, particularly with Budweiser and San Miguel that we've just mentioned, I'd almost just say they're going to play on the success of that brand, aren't they? But almost like, go and just make a new product, and you've got the distribution channels already, so just force them through. But I suppose it's a risk, isn't it, I guess?
Well, I love the fact that actually there's demand for it, for these no-low beers. I think that was what I guess I was getting at, is the fact that they can only sell no-low, and yet they can be very successful. And I think that's amazing. I think that just shows that's really tapping into the zeitgeist that we as consumers want good no-low options.
I was going to say, I think we spoke about it before on the podcast earlier, but I've just been looking at their beers, but it's their price point seems very high for the amount you're getting.
This was for these guys I was going to put this bit in their, cons column. That is a drawback, is they are, look, value is what someone will pay for something, right? But they are quite pricey. That's got to be said.
What's some examples? What are you seeing?
Well, there was it? I just looked. Give me 1 minute while I just go back a page, which I saw. But
so I had one where it was like a monthly subscription for £30, and you get 12 beers. And I thought, whoa, that is very expensive for 12 beers.
Okay, so here's one. It's called Rain of Blood. It's 0.5%, a 440ml can, and a 12-pack. How much do you think that is?
20 quid?
No.
It's going to be, I think, knowing what I saw about these guys, because I think my pack of 4 was like 14, 15 quid. I think you're on that basis, I'm going to say, 35, something like that?
£42.
Yeah, see, that's
oh my word.
And that just, it feels like a lot for in essence, what you're getting is a soft drink.
So, let's explore that a bit further. So, soft drink, I guess so. Low alcohol. Why? That they felt that with craft beer exploding as it were, and everything was really about that 8%, ABV hefty booze rating, they thought that they could do it themselves as like a better, and just kind of do it differently. So they actually don't brew their own beer. They are what they refer to themselves as a phantom brewery, but we know them obviously as like either Gypsy or Nomad Brewing. Mm-hmm. Basically other people make your beer for you and you own the brand and you promote it and you get the distribution.
I do beg your pardon. I thought for a minute, they partner with Gypsy and Nomad. I've never heard of them. Sorry. that's the other term. Yeah, so I was just mentioning this because we spotted that the South Central that I got from them is made by Fierce, I think. Was that the same for the cheap lager that you guys have got?
Yeah, those are both made by
But
Fierce.
I think I saw also they do Amundsen and Vault City collaborations, beers and labels, basically.
Well, their collabs are off the chain. They've done so many. I can list a load for just this year, but they do their small batches with Northern Monk up in Leeds, and they do their larger, bigger runs with Fierce Beer, which we've done Fierce already up in Aberdeen, which is why you're seeing on these cans that we all have.
Yes,
is Aberdeen.
That's where they've actually brewed it. Whereas the Amundsen and the Vault City are the collabs, aren't they? That's what it is. Beg your pardon.
It's all right. Get your facts right.
Right.
And just be better.
I'm trying.
I mean, to give you some of these collabs, I think just for this year, just the last year, so that was 2020. Obviously, you can see a lot of Fierce collabs going on, given they brew up there, and Northern Monk as well. They've done a Admundsen. You'd mentioned that Amundsen. We haven't done them yet, have we? AMU.
I don't think we have.
No, I don't think we have. No.
Amundsen. That's that Rain of Blood that you just talked about, Trabs.
Oh, is it?
That's a collab
Okay,
beer. That's a Desert Pro Lab. Don't know what that is. Desert Pro Lab, the pinnacle of low ABV stouts. So interesting. Like those.
That's the one that I would find interesting because I can imagine it being really thick and decadent, as they describe defecant.
Defecant.
No, quite decadent. 0.5% chocolate stout with vanilla and creamy oats. That can't get my head around that as a low alcohol.
Well,
So I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, you can take a mortgage out and get some.
Yeah. What about this, Baz? If you thought about that one, would you try the Mango Berliner there's a collab with Unbarred, which is a Berlin craft brewer. So it's a fruity, winey perfection in mango sour form, a nod to the wild city of Berlin. What do you think about that
See,
one?
that sounds really nice.
It does sound good,
Yeah.
doesn't it? But it's a Berliner, and I know how he gets with those.
I would try it, but my expectations for that would be low. I'll be honest. Do you know, this South Central is meant to be pineapple and lime flavoured, and it is. That's normally about as far as I go. That sounds a little bit too a bridge too far for me, to be honest.
They also have done a collab beer with Crystal Palace Football Club, which I thought was quite fun.
Oh, okay.
They called it 0-0 Enough Said.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it does sound like a Crystal Palace scoreline, doesn't
That's
it?
quite funny. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's quite good. This is quite funny. So they did a collab with Northern Monk, which was their first foray into the supermarket, where they got listed in Morrison's, and they called it the A Deal with the Devil.
I like that.
That's weird. I wouldn't think of... Yeah, I mean, I get the point about the supermarket, but I wouldn't think of Morrison's as the... Tesco, surely. They're the Satan of supermarkets, aren't they?
I guess maybe they're just making a note that, they are, a craft brewer and they're in a mass supermarket. But anyway, give the people what they want. They're liking Mash Gang, put it out there.
They've just gone down a few points in Travis's estimation, I think. You'll stick it to the man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because that's what I do on a daily basis.
I mean, you can find them in different places. They're not just in the UK, which is quite wild. You can get them in the US and some parts of Europe as well. And they even have a spin-off Australia, brewery, which is run by their mate, but it's called Toby apparently. But yeah, there is a Mash Gang in Australia as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is quite interesting.
Getting about a bit.
Was their mate called Toby or the brewery was called Toby?
There's their mate Toby.
I like that, yeah.
Oh, what? No, you've not. Hi guys, this is Toby.
Toby Brewery.
Toby appears to you're thinking of Toby Carvery.
I was going to say, yeah.
That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah. There's a whole chain of restaurants that has Toby in the title, so I don't think my question was that ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I didn't know where to.
But the wildest thing, who talked about how old they are? Has anyone mentioned how old they are?
I was going to say, yeah, wasn't it just the first lockdown they started brewing? Or put their first...
Which was what, 2020?
2020?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just fairly
impressive. They've already got a brewery called Toby.
They're really going places with that Toby brewery.
Well, they wasn't it they like in 3 months they put out 9 different beers.
Wow.
Which was...
And people just kept wanting it and kept buying it, did they?
Which was fairly impressive.
What do you think of their tagline? It's not a cult, it's a gang.
Well, if you're saying you're not a cult, you're definitely a cult. If that's been in my experience in life.
Okay.
It's not a cult, it's a gang. I don't really know what they're on about. I reckon. Sorry, that sounds like a real downer point on it. But they're craft brewers, right? And it is kind of more like a cult.
Yeah, craft brewing's a cult.
Yeah.
I
guess that's their point. That's their play on it, is to say it's not, although they know they're a cult, they're a gang. But yeah, I know it's interesting. I mean, I guess obviously gang is in their name, so I guess that's why they've gone that way.
They're obviously having a bit of fun with stuff like that as well, because also I was looking more and more at the... Because I said it in jest earlier on, but I do like a bit of rap and hip hop, and so I was reading about I say reading sounds like it's really extensive, but I was just eyeballing the stuff that they said about South Central as well, they're describing it, and they've got the list of the hops that are involved, what you should be tasting and that sort of thing. Mentions that it's vegan, and then they just chuck in a couple of rap lyrics at the end as well. And it's obviously whoever's doing the marketing or the copywriting for them in particular is obviously just having a bit of a mess around, and probably can only be coming out with this stuff if they're very much in on the vibe of the whole place.
Love it. I think also getting on with the vibe of the place. There's a photo on their Instagram of one of their, I think, brew workers, and he's got all these. He's all tatted up. It's from behind. He's got this, cool hat, like the woolly hat on that you'd expect to see, and on the back of his t-shirt it says "Legalize Marijuana." Like the sauce. It's all making it.
Oh dear.
Which I think is quite funny, actually.
I like that.
Oh, this is just such great bands.
Bands, mate.
It really is.
Right, let's do some numbers and finish up on Mash Gang. So, on Instagram, they have 5,750, and on Twitter, they have 1,200.
Nice.
So, I think slightly edgy, quite fun. I love that there's a bit of edge coming into the no-low category, and I like they're being quite unapologetic about it, and they're being very open by the fact that they don't make their own beer, but they work with fantastic brewers like Fierce and Northern Monk who know how to make amazing beers, as we've talked about before.
Yeah, so there's good stuff coming out of it. Yeah, you don't need to, why worry about it?
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe, Rich,
Barber,
and Simo,
goodbye. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter,
I'll try that podcast.com,
and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now.